One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free, then let me be free. From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken, he rides on two wheels, ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow, he takes his step, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Whistlers report he pays his way. More legend in the making, day by day.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, we have made it to a thirsty Thursday morning. Great to see everyone. Hopefully everyone's enjoying their morning so far. Definitely know that we are. Great to see everybody in here, man. Today's morning is definitely an interesting lineup, to say the least. The way that I have this labeled is Government Shutdown Day 30. As you guys know, it's October 30th. And I guess the one day before, Halloween. And we have Trump on Xi Jinping. That's what Xi means, the president over there for China. They had a nice little sit-down meeting over there in South Korea. We've been following along his Asia tour, meaning Trump. And we also have different Melissa recovery efforts as well. There's not too much about it in the news right now. I'm guessing there's going to be more about it tomorrow and the days after, because of the amount of devastation that has happened. But I do know that they're trying to raise funds. I know the UK actually send them money, like a whole bunch of money for recovery efforts, and more, of course. So the way that we're going to be, the lineup here is Fed Chair Jerome Powell. He spoke yesterday after second rate cut of 2025. Now, I have a poll in the chat for you guys to go ahead and answer regarding the Fed interest rate that was dropped. Do you think that that was the correct decision or the wrong one? I want to see what you guys say before I throw my 2 cents on it. And then we have a drug boat strike, 4 killed in Eastern Pacific, Hegseth says, and this happened yesterday. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth announced Wednesday that the U.S. carried out another strike on alleged drug boat in Eastern Pacific, killing 4 people. So we have that footage for you guys. And then we have Trump orders U.S. nuclear weapons testing on equal basis with Russia and China. That came out yesterday evening, late in the evening. And I was like, oh, this is going to be a big deal here for sure. And then I don't know how to say this company's name, Louvre heist, the five more arrests in a jewelry heist. And this came out 4 hours ago. Let me go ahead and read this. It's regarding Paris, I think. 5 additional suspects have been taken into custody as part of an ongoing investigation into the daring theft of the crown jewels from the Louvre Museum. I hope I'm saying that right. The Paris prosecutor's office announced Thursday, so this morning. So that makes a little bit more sense here. Then we have full remarks on Trump rates meeting with Xi Jinping. 12 out of 10. That's a very interesting statement. Like, how well did the meeting go? It was a 12 out of 10, bro. Like, oh, shit. Okay. All right. Phenomenal. We have food stamps set to expire November 1st for millions of Americans. As you guys know, that yesterday, last night, we had the Diamond Effect, and me, Archbishop, and Aaron Olinger came together and we talked about, specifically SNAP and, different governmental programs here. So anyways, that is our lineup, what it looks like for the morning so far. Maybe at the end, we'll see if there's any update on from either side. I would imagine there would be regarding that it's shutdown day 30 and it's Thursday. So I'd imagine that both sides probably would be speaking today. So by the time that we run through all of this, by the end, we may actually have an update from the government. So anyways, before we get into it, much love, honor, respect to everybody. Thank you all for being here. Make sure you guys hit the like button on the way in. Very much appreciate it. It's absolutely free to do so. And you know what else is free is hitting that subscribe button. But let's go ahead and get the money part over. Please consider becoming a member starting at $2.99 a month. We're making sure we're not breaking the bank out there with anybody, but check it out. This is what allows us to keep the lights on and be on these freaking airwaves is 100% because of you guys signing up, becoming members, and then staying members. So big W's in the chat for you guys. And follow my Instagram, a little side note here, at Ball Valve TV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my life, but as well as the show, Millennial Food Time, breaking news, all that great shit. It's a great way to get a hold of me one-on-one. We also have a Discord server. Go into the link down below of any live video, and you guys will have the invite link. We have the majority of you guys in there, so we just need to get a couple more % in there to get everybody. And last but not least, every super chat, super sticker, gift, and membership signups are, of course, going to be presented live onto the show and presented and shouted out. But if you guys would like to skip that YouTube 30% brutal cut that they take from your hard-earned cash, well, then we have these platforms right here that you guys can donate to. And I'll read it out loud as they come in, just like a super chat on YouTube. So I've got my email up, ready to go. So if anything comes through, I will absolutely call it out right away. All right, ladies and gentlemen, great to see everybody. We got Steve Easy in the building. We got Mountain Woman as well as Frank. My man, good to see you guys. We got Rabbit of Chaos riding with Rhodey. Yes, sir. Great to see you in the chat. Let's see here. We are scrolling our way down. I said Rabbit of Chaos. Mount High. Good to see you in the chat, man. Good morning. We got Gary as well. Good morning to you. Hopefully you're all enjoying your thirsty Thursday morning so far. We got Hardwire, my man. Great to see you as well. And happy freaking birthday, by the way. I hope that you saw that. A comment, I wished you a happy birthday on social media. Shit. But happy birthday, bro. Awesome. All right, let's see here. We have America Uncensored in the building as well. Good morning to you. Let's see. We got Gary as well as Chasing Ghost. Great to see you in the chat as well. Let's see. And I probably have a lot of words that I love. Oh, I see. Louvre. Okay, you guys are explaining the fucking company the way that you would say it. I got you. Let's see here. We got Sick Bastard saying like, sub, share, and donate. Absolutely. By the way, good times. Great to see you in the chat, by the way. And thank you, Motobomb, for rating the show right before we started, like 10 seconds before we started. That was awesome. We got Mark as well. Good morning. Great to see you. We got Old Mac, my man. Great to see you as well. He also created a phenomenal little, I guess, short on YouTube. Make sure you guys go check it out. It's featured by yours truly here. So go check it out. Go show a little love to his shorts, man. He's a phenomenal person. All right. Let's see if we're all caught up. We got Josephus as well. Good morning to you. Great to see you. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about this whole Fed Chair Jerome Powell speaks after second rate cut of 2025. This happened yesterday. This happened before the Diamond Effect, actually, but we really didn't have to. This wasn't the type of topic we were talking about yesterday. This is a whole different problem. And as you guys know, the Feds have dropped down interest rate again for the second time in 2025. And the first drop was a 0.25%, I believe. I think it was a quarter. And so now, or a point, basically. And no, not even a full point. It was like 0.25 of a point. Exactly. Anyways, they dropped it again, and here's my consensus, okay? Unfortunately, we're in a place right now where inflation is skyrocketing. So anytime that inflation is going up, theoretically, the Feds should be stepping in and going, okay, we need to bring interest rates up. Believe it or not, even though a lot of people don't like the sound of that, that's the truth. But they're doing the exact opposite of what needs to happen right now. So that's why I asked you guys that question in the poll there.
After briefly reviewing economic developments. Available indicators suggest that economic activity has been expanding at a moderate pace. GDP rose at a 1.6% pace in the first half of the year, down from 2.4% last year. Data available prior to the shutdown show that growth in economic activity may be on a somewhat firmer trajectory than expected.
What's up, SST? Great to see you in the chat, by the way.
Primarily reflecting stronger consumer spending. Business investment in equipment and intangibles has continued to expand, while activity in the housing sector remains weak. The shutdown of the federal government will weigh on economic activity while it persists, but these effects should reverse.
We got Prez in the building as well. Good morning to you. Yes, the Fed chair is not our friend. I 100% agree with you, Mark, on that. And we got Tiffany dropping in, by the way. Hopefully you're enjoying your Thirsty Thursday morning so far as well. Great to see you.
After the shutdown ends. In the labor market, the unemployment rate remained relatively low through August. Job gains have slowed significantly since earlier in the year. A good part of the slowing likely reflects a decline in the growth of the labor force due to lower immigration and labor force participation, though labor demand has clearly softened as well. Although official employment data for September are delayed, available evidence suggests that both layoffs and hiring remain low, and that both households' perceptions of job availability and firms' perceptions of hiring difficulty continue to decline. In this less dynamic and somewhat softer labor market, the downside risks to employment appear to have risen in recent months. Inflation has eased significantly from its highs in mid-2022, but remains somewhat elevated relative to our 2% longer-run goal. Estimates based on the Consumer Price Index suggest that total PCE prices rose 2.8% over the 12 months ending in September, and that, excluding the volatile food and energy categories, core PCE prices rose 2.8% as well. These readings are higher than earlier in the year as inflation for goods has picked up. In contrast, disinflation appears to be continuing for services. Near-term measures of inflation expectations have moved up on balance over the course of this year on news about tariffs, as reflected in both market and survey-based measures.
Cal up there in Canada, good morning to you. Great to see you in the chat.
Beyond the next year or two or so, however, most measures
too,
of longer-term
Mac.
expectations remain consistent with our 2% inflation goal. Our monetary policy actions are guided by our dual mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices for the American people. At today's meeting, the committee decided to lower the target range for the federal funds rate by a quarter percentage point to 3.75% to 4%. Higher tariffs are pushing up prices in some categories of goods.
Oh man, the list is strong. I just want to hear what the actual point drop is, like what percentage.
Path for policy as we navigate this tension between our employment and inflation goals. Our framework calls for us to take a balanced approach in promoting both sides of our dual mandate. With downside risks to employment having increased in recent months, the balance of risks has shifted. Accordingly, we judged it appropriate at this meeting to take another step toward a more neutral policy stance. With today's decision, we remain well positioned to respond in a timely way to potential economic developments. We will continue to determine the appropriate stance of monetary policy based on the incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks.
So it goes down by a quarter point. All right, so it's gone down now half of a point in 2025, which is fairly, it's not a humongous change, but it is going in the wrong direction, actually. Definitely not the best decision ever. And I'm going to be honest, the Federal Reserve has never really done fucking good. They've tried their best in these guesses and situations and stuff like this, and they've tried to balance inflation and all this stuff. But the truth is, ever since they've been implemented, our US dollar has just done this ever since them. They've never had it like where they were in control and now we're doing all right, or at least plateauing. No, this shit was always steady going down, and they're a big reason for it. All right, we're going to move into the next story here. Drug boat strike, 4 killed in Eastern Pacific, Hegseth says. So let's go ahead and bring that up so we can go in and check it out for ourselves.
Let's pop this up on your screen. because this is from the Secretary of Defense, again, also Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, saying the U.S. military actually carried out another strike on a boat that he says was carrying drugs in the eastern Pacific Ocean, killing 4 people aboard the vessel. The Trump administration has been conducting its campaign against drug cartels in the waters off South America. Hegseth, who's been traveling in Japan and Malaysia, said in a social media post that intelligence determined the craft was, quote, transiting along a known narco trafficking route.
What's up, brother Blair? Good to see you in the chat.
And carrying narcotics, end quote. He said the strike was conducted in international waters and no U.S. forces were harmed. Now, I do want to show you the video because you can see the image there on the left-hand side of your screen. But as we pop it up full for you here on Live Now from Fox, you can actually watch it in motion as you see essentially a boat exploding into flames.
Whoa, perfect pause right there. We got Aaron Olinger in the chat. My man, good morning and great to see you in the chat. He says that move should start to make gold and silver go up more. Absolutely. It definitely, I think everything kind of is working for gold and silver in all aspects. I think every bank, every place around the world, they would rather have fucking gold and silver than the US dollar. They don't trust the US dollar like they used to. No one carries that for any type of like investment vehicles anymore. Now, our money used to actually be an investment vehicle. Like different countries wanted our currency because it held value. Like that was an investment vehicle. It was better to hold your money in that than their own money. Well, now we're right there at fucking like right below hyperinflation, bro, if not already there. So yeah, this is, we're definitely we're a banana republic, but we got 38 trillion bananas.
And smoke that was posted by Secretary Hegseth. The Trump administration has been conducting a nearly 2-month campaign in the region. President Trump justifying the attacks on the boats as a necessary escalation to stem the flow of drugs into the U.S. to essentially keep those drugs from coming in. He's asserted the U.S. is engaged in a, quote, armed conflict with drug cartels, relying on the same legal authority that was used by the Bush administration when it declared a war on terrorism after these.
Yeah, that was a pretty brutal, where we could actually see the devastation from that.
He's asserted the U.S. is engaged in a, quote, armed conflict with drug cartels.
That was probably the clearest image we've had
on the same legal authority that was used by the Bush administration when it declared a war on terrorism after the September 11th attacks. Again, this video coming in here from Secretary of Defense, Secretary of War, that is, of course, Pete Hegseth. We do also have this post here coming in from Hegseth, and I do want to read it to you as it says, earlier today, at the direction of President Trump, the Department of War carried out a lethal kinetic strike on yet another narco trafficking vessel operated by a designated terrorist organization in the Eastern Pacific. This vessel, like all the others, was known by our intelligence to be involved in illicit narcotics smuggling, was transiting along a known narco trafficking route and carrying narcotics. 4 male narco-terrorists were aboard the vessel and killed during the strike, which was conducted in international waters. No U.S. forces were harmed in this.
Yep, no kidding, America Uncensored, no doubt. I actually have a badass picture that I have presented onto this show before. I think I did it onto the Diamond Effect, so I don't know if I did it on the news. But I'm going to go ahead and upload it here in a sec, so we'll go and continue this, and I'll get back to this, America Uncensored.
Right. The Western Hemisphere no longer a safe haven for narco-terrorists bringing drugs to our shores to poison Americans. The Department of War will continue to hunt them down and eliminate them wherever they operate, end quote. We'll, of course, keep you posted here as we see more of these strikes coming in the coming days and weeks.
There we go. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and move this over. Trump orders U.S. nuclear weapons testing on equal basis with Russia and China. This is definitely going to be an interesting talk about as well. So let's go and bring this up. This happened last night.
I do want to welcome you back into Live Now.
This is
I'm
quick.
Austin Westfall. We have some breaking news that we want to hit really quickly because we are seeing a new post from President Trump. This just came out moments ago. He says the United States has more nuclear weapons than any other country. This was accomplished.
Which we do, and we know that. Real quick, so I finally got the thing uploaded that I needed. Okay, so this right here. This is a crazy fucking graph that I actually asked ChatGPT to throw together for me. So I asked it in the middle of the Diamond Effect a couple of weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago. I basically asked the buying power of the US dollar for just of 2025, and it only gave me 4.5 months of 2025, not even what it is now. Okay. This right here, the green line is the US dollar and its buying power. Okay. As you guys can see, the Y split really happened at the beginning of 2025 of gold and the US dollar, of what its power purchasing level was. And as you guys can see, it's all the way up to 30% on this graph. But what it's actually done to date now is 55%. And our US dollar keeps going down and down and down and down. So meanwhile, everything is getting fucking expensive because our dollar, our purchasing power is losing value every single fucking day. So this is why I finally, bit the bullet and fucking got myself invested in gold and silver. I'm like looking at this shit going, I cannot fucking believe how radical this shit is right now. You know what I mean? And it's never too late, I promise you, if you haven't started now, because you got to remember the majority of Americans do not have, like I'm talking maybe on a 2 or 3% level, that actually own gold and silver. You know what I mean? Like I'm talking about real gold and silver, not just like a jewelry or something like, you know what I mean? I'm talking about owning real gold and silver for an investment or for an investment vehicle. Anyways, back to this.
Including a complete update and renovation of existing weapons during my first term in office.
What's up, Brother Lee? Great
Because
to
of
see you in the chat, man.
Destructive
Good morning.
power, I hated to do it, but had no choice. Russia is second, China is a distant third, but will be even within 5 years, he says, because of other countries' testing programs. The president says he's instructing the Department of War to start testing our nuclear weapons on an equal basis. That process will begin immediately. He says, thank you for your attention to this matter. We have somebody standing by here, Hal Kempfer, who's done a range of events. I know you yourself have been a part of many events, specifically in Southern California, talking about nuclear weapons. Hal, when you see this news...
This dude's probably the best person to talk on any of this kind of shit. Any Homeland Security, any type of shit like this. Yeah, he's phenomenal.
What's the significance of the U.S. picking up its nuclear testing once more?
And then, of course, on an international level, and then nuclear, this guy is involved.
Well, Austin, this is a huge shift in U.S. policy. We haven't tested a nuclear weapon in the United States since 1992.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's the last time that we tested a nuke of any type in the U.S. was 1992. You
may recall in the early 60s, all above ground testing worldwide was stopped because those massive nuclear explosions, which are encapsulated in video and film, I should say, that we see in movies and certainly newsreels and stuff. Well, it was pushing out a ton of radioactive material into the atmosphere and causing major health effects. So by international treaty, that was stopped, but there was still underground testing. Now, all the other major nations have stopped doing it. Russia doesn't do it. The U.S. doesn't do it. However, North Korea has been doing it, and North Korea has been threatening off and on to resume their nuclear testing, which is also underground. This would be a major change. My question that immediately comes to mind is, where are they planning on doing it? The previous tests were all done in Nevada. It's an area that's not too far from Las Vegas, but that area has been basically shuttered as far as being an active nuclear testing area, obviously for over 3 decades. And I don't know if we'd want to do nuclear testing there. There's issues that we're discovering with the water table and other environmental impacts. So it's an interesting policy, but it brings up not just a question of why and what it'll mean, but how and what will the...
Well, I mean, honestly, if the last time that we tested any type of nuclear weapon was in 92, I think it would behoove us to go ahead and test our shit. You know what I mean? I think it would be a good thing to go ahead and test. All right, let's go ahead and move into the next here. I still don't know how to say it correctly. Louvre heist. Is that how you guys say it? Louvre?
We do want to start with breaking news this morning, as we've heard that 5 more arrests have been made in that Louvre jewel heist.
Louvre,
we do have a
okay.
live image.
She said it,
the Louvre there.
so I could hear it. Sounds great.
Paris, France. I want to read some of this reporting, courtesy of the Associated Press, as they continue to follow this story very closely. Now, they say this: 5 more people have been arrested in the investigation into the theft of crown jewels from the Louvre Museum, but the treasures remain missing. That's according to the Paris prosecutor.
So they arrested 5 people there in France, I'm guessing, over there in Paris somewhere.
And what they announced on Thursday. The 5 were detained late Wednesday night in separate police operations in Paris and in surrounding areas. The prosecutor did not release their identities or any more of those details. One of the suspects is suspected of being part of the 4-person team that robbed the Louvre's Apollo Gallery in broad daylight back on October 19th. 2 other members of the team were arrested Sunday and given preliminary.
I remember when this happened. It was a radical time. I remember it made headlines everywhere.
Charges Wednesday of criminal conspiracy and theft committed by an organized gang. Both partially admitted their involvement, according to the prosecutor. It took thieves less than 8.
Wait, so there's 2 people that they have right now in custody that have admitted that they did it. They were a part of the crew.
Minutes to steal the jewels valued at 88 million euros or 102 million US dollars. And it really shocked the world. The robbers forced open a window, cut into cases with power tools, and fled with 8 pieces of the French crown jewels. French police have acknowledged major gaps in the Louvre's defenses, turning the daylight theft into a national reckoning over how France protects its treasures. Now, one of those who has been charged is a 34-year-old Algerian national who has been living in France since 2010.
What was the Algerian? Is that what she said?
Charged is a 34-year-old Algerian national.
I don't even know what Algerian is.
Who has been living in France since
I don't know.
2010. He was arrested
You guys
at
let
the
me know.
airport in Paris as he was about to fly out to Algeria with no return ticket. He was living in a suburb north of Paris and was known to police mostly for road traffic offenses. His DNA was found on one of the scooters used by robbers to leave the scene. The other suspect, a 39-year-old, was arrested at his home, also in the outskirts of Paris. Now, the man was known to police for several thefts, and his DNA was found on one of the glass cases where the jewels were displayed and on items the thieves left behind. Video surveillance cameras showed there were at least 4 people involved. 4 of the suspects arrived aboard a truck equipped with a freight lift that 2 of them used to climb up to the museum's window. The 4 of them left on board 2 motor scooters along the river toward eastern Paris, where they had some other vehicles parked.
By the way, real quick, I have an update from the government, from the House Republicans. That just came out 22 minutes ago. We're going to put that on the back end here. So after we're through our next 2 stories after this one, then we'll get to the government shutdown.
Prosecutor said that nothing suggests that the robbers had accomplices within the museum staff. Now, she made a plea on Wednesday night to those who have the jewels, saying, quote, "These jewels are now, of course, unsellable. Anyone who buys them would be guilty of concealment of stolen goods. There's still time to give them back." Information about investigations is meant to be secret under French law to avoid compromising police work and to ensure victims' right to privacy. Only the prosecutor can speak publicly about these developments, and violators can be prosecuted. Police and investigators are not supposed to divulge information about arrests or suspects without the prosecutor's approval. Though in high-profile...
Oh, wow. Interesting, Crystal Miller. Thank you, by the way, Crystal, for answering that.
Cases,
Thank
police union officials have leaked partial details.
What's up, Hook Dog? Good morning.
Social media post courtesy of the Associated Press as we follow this breaking news update for you. A story that really...
That's absolutely correct, Hook Dog. You are exactly right. And then the one thing that was helping the U.S. dollar after, in the 70s when we got off the gold standard, the one thing that ended up kind of holding us up there for a bit was the petrodollar, which, as you guys are very, very knowledgeable in the aspect, that we lost just over a year ago. It's only been, now we're in year 2, coming into year 2, you know what I mean, since the whole ordeal. Gold, this is just the beginning of gold. You know what I mean? This is just the beginning for our time frame. Right now, people think it's like at the tippy top, blah, blah, blah. No, this is just the fucking beginning. This is just the fucking beginning. This shit, get ready. This is what I tell anybody that's getting involved in gold and silver. When you buy it, don't fucking sit there and like hyper fixate on spot prices and daily changes and shit like that. You don't want to do that. There's no need to do that to yourself because you're doing this for a long-term hold. I don't care if believe it or not, I don't even care when I lose, if I lose $500 in overnight, you know what I mean? Or the day before, or combined in a week. I don't even give a shit because it's a long-term investment. I already know where our money is going, meaning our fiat currency. I already know exactly where it's going. And I know exactly where fucking gold and silver is going, you know? And I mean, shit, here's the fucking Y-wing right here that happened with the buying power of the US dollar just in the beginning, 4 months of 2025. And then the gold that has basically in its purchasing power is now, right now, currently sitting at 55%. On this graph was showing 30% in the first 4 months, and now it's at 55% right now. So, anyways.
Activated the world. The AP saying this on X, breaking: 5 more people have been arrested in the investigation into the theft of crown jewels from the Louvre Museum, the Paris prosecutor announces. And the jewels remain missing. Now, again, the prosecutor is asking that whoever has the jewels or knows where those jewels are to please just come forward because, as she put it, they are unsellable. But again, those 5 were detained late Wednesday night in separate police operations in Paris and those surrounding areas. And 1 is suspected of being part of the 4-person team that robbed the Louvre's Apollo Gallery back on October 19th. 2 other members of the team were arrested Sunday and given preliminary charges Wednesday of criminal conspiracy and theft committed by an organized gang. Both partially admitted their involvement, according to the prosecutor.
Shit. Well, we got extra surprise in the building. Shout out to you. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning as well. We're moving on into our next story here. Trump rates meeting with Xi Jinping 12 out of 10. Shit. All right, let's go ahead and bring that up and see what he's got to say about this. He secured quite a bit, not only on this exact stop in the Asia tour, but every stop in the Asia tour, he did exactly what he did in the Middle East and went there and collected a whole bunch of cash, which was phenomenal.
I thought it was an amazing...
So I'm going to use the restroom real quick. I got to take a leak real quick, but I'll be listening as I do that.
...meeting. He's a great leader of a very powerful, very strong country, China. And I mean, what can I say? We have... it was an outstanding group of decisions, I think, that was made. A lot of decisions were made. There wasn't too much left out there. And we've come to conclusion on many very important points, and we'll be handing that to you in a little while. We're having, because there was a lot of different things, many of them very important. We're in agreement on so many elements, large amounts, tremendous amounts of the soybeans and other farm products are going to be purchased immediately, starting immediately. If you notice, President Xi authorized yesterday for China to start, did you know that, right? China to start buying in very large quantities of soybeans and other things, which I appreciated. That was a very nice gesture. And many other things like that. We, on fentanyl, we agreed that he was going to work very hard to stop the flow. You know, it's a very complex subject because it's used for lots of different reasons, including anesthetics and things. But he's going to work very hard on it, precursors, and I think you're going to see some real action taken. I've agreed, as you know, I put a 20% tariff on China because of the fentanyl coming in, which is it's a big tariff. And based on his statements today, I reduced it by 10%, so it's 10% instead of 20%, effective immediately.
So what he just said right there is a big deal. So let me go ahead and read off some of the things that happened during this visit over there in South Korea, meeting up with Xi Jinping. The meeting ran for almost 2 hours at Gimhae Air Base in Busan, South Korea. The U.S. will now cut tariffs on Chinese imports by 10%. So it was at 57%, and now it's being dropped down to 47%. China will now talk directly with NVIDIA about buying GPUs. China said it's committed to properly resolving the TikTok issue. China will resume large purchases of U.S. soybeans starting immediately. So that's what he was talking about, the soybeans right there. And China will delay new rare earth export controls for 1 year, keeping supplies flowing to the U.S. President Trump said he will visit China in April, and Xi may visit the U.S. afterwards. On a scale, this is his quote, by the way, on a scale of 0 to 10, I would say the meeting with President Xi was a 12. And that's it. So, all right. It's going to get, and also there was like a $350 billion investment too.
Very hard to
from South Korea.
Stop the death that's coming in. But again, it's complex because of what fentanyl is, what the precursors do. So I think you're going to see a big difference. We've had discussions on many of the elements that you're talking about all the time. You're asking me questions, and most of those things were.
See what happens when I leave Trump to speak at normal speed? I bet you all is like everyone's going, man, he's talking real slow. Well, it's because I always speed him up. I put him on 1.25.
I think agreed to, for the most part. I think we agreed to almost everything in a very acceptable form. I wouldn't say everything was discussed because of the things that probably, in retrospect, we could have discussed and we didn't, for some reason, didn't come up. But if you have any questions, let me know.
What about chips, sir? Did he agree? Did you agree to sell any more downstream
chips? We did discuss chips, and they're going to be talking to NVIDIA and others about taking chips. If we make great chips, NVIDIA is the leader. And I'll be speaking to Jensen, NVIDIA, but they're going to.
Hey, what's up, Dean? Brother Dean? Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your thirsty Thursday morning. Great to see you in the chat.
Be discussing that with NVIDIA to see whether or not they can do. I said that's really between you and NVIDIA, but we're sort of the arbitrator or the referee. It's a little rough up here. The skies are a little rough.
And just to clarify, sir, that is the downgraded Blackwell chips. You would authorize those to be exported?
Not the Blackwell. We're not talking about the Blackwell. That just came out yesterday. But a lot of chips, a lot of the chips, and that's good for us.
How soon do you think you'd be able to sign an actual?
Please, come on. You know what you do? Yeah, come on. Let me stand right over here.
Yeah, hey everybody. Thanks. Let's make a point on this.
I love how Trump just he's so aggressive with it and just so blunt. He's just like, come on, man, just get in the motherfucking frame. You know what I mean? Just get right here.
As the president was saying, there's so many chips we already sent to China, a lot of advanced chips, etc. And as he said, NVIDIA will talk to China and see what's possible. The Blackwell chips, of course, weren't discussed. We focused on export controls of China on rare earth, and they're going to keep those flowing, which is quite important.
What are the major stumbling blocks that are left now to work through, and how soon do you think you could sign a trade deal with China?
Well, I think pretty soon. We have not too many major stumbling blocks. We have a deal. Now, every year we'll renegotiate the deal. But I think the deal will go on for a long time, long beyond the year. We'll negotiate at the end of the year. But all of the rare earth.
Shit. Hopefully you enjoyed the rest of your day as well, Hook Dog. Always appreciate you.
It's been settled. And that's for the world. I mean, worldwide. This, I guess you could really say this was a worldwide situation, not just the U.S. situation. So we continue to produce the rare
That's
earth.
right, Jeremy. Hey, real quick. We got Redneck Side Motorcycle Whips in the chat. Yes, I need to bug you for a new hat. Yes, I need to get a new hat. Get with me later on. Text me or something like that. We got to make sure we get me a new hat. All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
The rare earths and everything else, when you see from other countries. But China is that whole situation, that roadblock is gone now. There's no roadblock at all on rare
I haven't seen her this morning, so she must be sleeping in.
That will hopefully disappear from our vocabulary for a little while.
So is that a one-year pause on the policy they announced?
It's a one-year agreement, and we'll extend it after a year.
And what will
like we do. It's a one-year deal. That will, I think, be very routinely extended as time goes by.
And real quick, also, Redneck Motorcycle Whips also does say, use code Insane Wheels and save 15%. Yes, we do have a code with Redneck Side Motorcycle Whips, so make sure you guys go check them out. Definitely appreciate you guys. There, he put his company right there, so go check them out, man.
Clear,
Has phenomenal products.
They're not going to impose the rare earth controls that they proposed. President Trump and President Xi came to an understanding on that.
What will your new tariff
What's up, Pablo? Good morning.
goods be once you sign a deal?
Other than what the tariffs remain exactly the same.
55%.
It's about, it was 57, now it's 47.
And how long?
Because we reduced it by the fentanyl. Because I believe they are really taking strong action. We've already seen the action.
Yeah, but like Brother Steve pointed out earlier, why are we focusing so much on these motherfuckers when the majority of fent comes through and from Mexico? Shit.
Fentanyl, and they're taking very strong action. So we reduced to 10%.
So that number is gone when it was going to go up again.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's up, brother? K2, keep on trucking, my man. Good to see you in the chat as well,
That's
man.
right. So
Good morning.
on fentanyl, they've agreed there are a variety of precursors. You may recall that actual fentanyl was scheduled by China in the president's first term successfully. There are certain precursors where they take whatever actions they need to control that. If they can control rare earths, we know they can control the precursors. And President Xi, I think, was very strong in saying he was going to enforce those laws internally. Of course, we'll watch that. And we'll
He's going to be very strong in enforcing the fentanyl, everything having to do with fentanyl and regulations internally, including taking very strong measures against those that don't obey.
Well, and that should go for everybody. And I mean, hence why, you know, look at the cartel. It's actually been recently deemed as a terrorist organization. So, I mean, under Trump, and I was actually saying, yes, I'm glad that that did happen, but it's surprising that we haven't done it in the past. Why haven't we deemed them fucking terrorists? Well, you know, unfortunately, when something like this happens, our own government will get involved, and that's why they don't do it, you know. But now it's phenomenal that they are actually labeled as a terrorist organization under Trump, which is great. Let's go and move into food stamps set to expire November 1st for millions of Americans. If you guys watched last night's show on the Diamond Effect, me, Archbishop, and Aaron Olinger, we had a conversation about this. We have a whole episode about it. So I'm really going to go ahead and reserve a lot of my comments because a lot of it really did come out yesterday. It was phenomenal.
Today, the U.S.
Because this is not a long story. This is just real quick.
Federal government shutdown enters day 30, and now Republican leaders in Congress saying it's all or nothing as they rejected a Democratic push to carve out food aid funding for more than 40 million Americans who stand to lose it as part of the shutdown. Joining us live now is our reporter at Fox 5 in D.C., Stephanie Ramirez. And Stephanie, what can you tell us about these cuts?
Good morning. Yeah, we're looking at some 42 million Americans looking at losing their SNAP benefits with lawmakers unable to come to an agreement. Now, we know different states have been stepping up. In Maryland, which is in our region here, the governor is expected to announce at a news conference later today, announce executive action that he's taking to address this in our region. It also encompasses D.C. and Virginia, with Maryland included. We know some 279,000 people in our region rely on SNAP benefits. And on the Senate floor yesterday, tensions were erupting over this in particular as the shutdown continues. I want to play for you some of Senate Majority Leader John Thune.
Let me just point out, if I might, that we are 29 days into a Democrat shutdown. And the senator from New Mexico was absolutely right. SNAP recipients shouldn't go without food. People should be getting paid in this country.
Oh my fucking God, this guy. Cry me a river.
And we've tried to do that 13 times. And you voted no 13 times.
See, I mean, that's the whole thing. It's like, yeah, this is what they did. And he's pissed off because if they would have just passed the normal CR, everything would have been fine. Everyone would have their shit. And so now he's playing a little bit of political theater, even though he's on the Republican side, and he's calling them out. But really, it's political theater, bro. He doesn't care like that for real.
A court hearing slated for later today after 20-plus states and D.C. sued.
He doesn't care about people not getting fucking food stamps. He cares that the government's shut down. That's what he cares about.
Trump administration over the Department of Agriculture's refusal to tap into $6 billion in emergency funding to cover SNAP costs expected to expire November 1st due to the continued government shutdown. A local single mother we spoke with who says that she does rely on assistance to buy needed groceries. She told Fox 5, our colleague Tom Fitzgerald, that the stress is just off the charts for their family right now. Republicans blaming the SNAP issue and the whole shutdown on Democrats. Democratic leadership not budging, and they're continuing to call out the president for not negotiating with them. D.C. and Maryland's attorneys general did join that lawsuit. We did speak with one of those officials suing the administration.
Families who are hungry, their children who will be starving without this money flowing. So that's why I joined a number of...
Yeah, that's why these people that rely on the system, well, why don't you just go get a fucking job? I just don't understand. If your kids are going to go starving, why don't you go get a job? Why wouldn't you want to stand on your own two fucking feet? No pun intended, but true. Why wouldn't you? You just want to be a succubus? That's what you want to be For real? That's your ambition?
Attorneys general and governors.
You've got families and children.
It's one thing if you're using it for, hey, man, I need to get by because I'm struggling. I just lost my job, but I'm looking for another job kind of thing or a situation. Or I get paid so little from doing, part-time work at a McDonald's. Yeah, well, you're not going to get benefits or anything if you're working part-time. So, yeah, you're probably not making enough. I don't know, man. I think that even if you have a job, you don't qualify for SNAP, I think. But I don't know this to be a fact. But, it's very interesting landscape.
That rely upon SNAP benefits that are going to go hungry here at the end of the week.
Families who are...
Well, guys, there's something
I'm glad they muted that guy.
Families in need. Now, in terms of the resolution here, we're going to be following what happens in court later today. I know you all as well, and we'll also be following the Maryland governor's announcement. Do want to note in our region, Virginia's governor did not join that lawsuit of Democratic states attorneys general. Instead, the governor, Glenn Youngkin, he announced an emergency declaration here that launched a temporary SNAP replacement program.
I absolutely agree with this, Steve. And there are going to be nuances. People are going to need certain things, of course. And believe it or not, I'm even a nuance regarding being a disabled person. But he says, if you're not disabled or elderly, you should not get a dime. We have generations of welfare fucks. And I absolutely fucking agree. Damn straight, bro. All right, let's go ahead and move into the government now. The government shutdown. We have day 30 for us to go ahead and show you guys. Let's go ahead and bring this up. Let's see. 3, 2, 1. Bam.
Well, good morning, everyone. We are now...
This just came out like 25 minutes ago.
Beginning day 30 of the Democrat shutdown. And as there are millions of Americans this morning that are embracing themselves for further pain and hardship, we'll highlight some of that this morning. The Democrats, incredibly, are showing no signs at all that they want to end their shutdown. Now, they'll have another opportunity today. The Democrats in the Senate will have their 15th opportunity to do the right thing.
See, I really don't understand. Okay, real quick to answer this. So Hardwire says, you do not have to make very much money to get completely disqualified from getting any assistance. And this is what the government set themselves up for. They did it to themselves. They wanted power over these people. They wanted to go ahead and control these people because, they can pull the rug underneath you. And guess what? They are doing it. Okay. The way that I think that the system should actually work, okay, is let's just say I'm making $1,000 or originally without a job, I'm getting, let's just use whole numbers here. I'm getting $1,000 in SNAP benefits. Well, then now I go get a fucking part-time job and now I'm making $750 or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Well, what they should do is instead of erasing all of your benefits, now you lose it all, that it should be an even, when you start making that same amount of money, they don't take away more than the exact money that you just made. You know what I mean? They should be able to counterbalance this so you have an incentive to go make money, not to live and stay on the government's program, because they're incentivizing you to stay on the program. And if you go get a job, you go do any of this shit, guess what? You lose all your benefits, right? So it's a sad reality at the end of the day, and people fall for the trap. And we've seen so many, millions upon tens of millions, tens and tens and tens and tens and tens of millions of people fall for this trap. And now they're like stuck in this whole ideology of living off of fucking the sugar daddy government. Replace, the father of the home with the government. And now the government's ditching your ass too. How does it feel, motherfuckers? We got 2-4 up in the building. Great to see you in the chat. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning. Great to see you.
We're concerned that they won't. And if they reject this for the 15th time, they will be ensuring that this shutdown continues past the November 1st deadline. And that is a fateful deadline for a number of reasons. Starting on Saturday, let me give you a list of things that this means for the American people. It means that tens of millions of American families will struggle to keep food on the table because the SNAP program benefits will run dry. It means that WIC assistance, that's women, infants, and children, the nutrition programs, will be at risk of running dry. It means that Head Start centers, which serve 60,000 children nationwide, will be at risk of closure. Millions of federal workers And we've listed them here every day. You're talking about air traffic controllers and TSA agents and park rangers and Border Patrol agents, law enforcement around the country. The stewards of our nuclear arsenal will miss their paychecks. Thousands of flights, by result, will be canceled or delayed, while our borders and national security will be directly jeopardized at a very dangerous moment in world history. And our country will lose tens of billions in gross domestic product. With each passing day, the pain gets more real. And the Democrats are guaranteeing when they vote to reject our clean funding resolution. We expect they will do that again today for the 15th time. They are showing no shame whatsoever in their actions. Now, just as we clearly know what is happening, which we've recounted here every morning, the American people can never forget. We also clearly know why it's happening. And I brought a few friends. We brought some colleagues here from the state of New York and New York City to share with you about some of what's going on here. Back in March, this is very clear what happened. Let me summarize very briefly as I can. Back in March, Chuck Schumer voted for the Clean CR, the same measure that's on the floor now. He did the right thing, and he went on the floor of the Senate, and he gave an impassioned speech of why we could never inflict all this pain on the American people. He meant it from his heart, and he was consistent in what he had done over his 44 years in Congress, always voting to fund the government. But when he did the right thing in March, he received an onslaught of criticism from the far left base and the Democrat Party. He almost lost his job. Many of you wrote about it. He was in jeopardy of not winning his next re-election. That's how serious it was. So Chuck Schumer got a bunch of consultants and staff in a back room, and they concocted a plan, a political stunt. And they determined right then that the next time there was a funding measure, no matter how meritorious and no matter how much it would cause pain to the American people, that he would vote against it. He would show a
What's up, Finding Dory? Good morning. Hopefully you're enjoying your thirsty Thursday morning. Great to see you.
Fight to President Trump so he could save his political skin. It's exactly what happened. He did this so he could prove to his base that he's showing a fight. And as a result of this charade, he has brought the Democrats to their lowest point in decades. Literally, the Democratic Party has its lowest approval rating. Democrats in Congress have their lowest approval rating ever in the history of polling. The labor unions, working class Americans, independents are fleeing his party, and they are coming to the party of common sense because they see us here trying to solve these problems. They see us here voting over and over and over to fund the government and give them their paychecks.
Right, which is now 14 times. They've voted it down. The Senate Democrats have voted it down to open up the government 14 times now.
And they see the Democrats dug in against it. And now Chuck Schumer is desperately trying to cling to power. Unfortunately, when you make decisions out of fear and political desperation, you have already lost control. And the new power center in the Democrat Party is one that should frighten every common sense American. The radical socialist wing is rising. It is led by people like AOC and Bernie Sanders.
Yep.
Hakeem Jeffries.
The fucking radicals.
And Chuck Schumer know this. They're smart politicians in that way. They can feel the political winds, and they know that they have to continue to act belligerently in order to gain the favor of the far left.
Yeah, well, sometimes our egos do get in the way of shit. Like, even when we need it the most, we still won't do it because our egos are like, nah, we're not accepting none of this shit. We make it happen. I'm not relying on nobody. No, I get you, bro, and I respect it.
It's their own political survival that they had put in front of the needs of the entire country. Let me say that again. The Democrat leaders in the Senate and the House have put their own political survival in front of the needs of the American people. Exhibit A is Zohran Mamdani. New York City, America's largest city, the cradle of capitalism that has always been, is facing a real crisis right now. They've got a 34-year-old, unproven, untested socialist who looks to be the next mayor. He may well be elected. Mamdani winning New York City would be the biggest win for the Marxists, the socialists, in the history of this country. We have, to this point, in nearly 250 years, been able to hold off those kinds of ideas. We've been able to cling to the foundational principles of America, the ideas of individual freedom and limited government and the rule of law and peace through strength and fiscal responsibility and free markets and human dignity. All those things are in jeopardy when the Marxists take over. Mm-hmm. And it's the clearest sign yet that the Democrats' radical Marxist wing is winning.
Anything Marxist, anything, any type of Islamic backing, any of that shit, yeah, big negative. We need to make sure that we don't get invaded. Just like the UK is, unfortunately, a lot of Europe has been invaded, and now these motherfuckers are like getting into governments and shit.
In the battle for control of their party. Look at where the energy is. This should be alarming to everyone around the country. Mamdani has a course called to defund the police, to abolish all prisons, to legalize prostitution. He lambasted the New York PD, the New York Police Department, as a racist system. And you might have seen, if few in the media are covering.
What's up, Jeremy Ryan, my man? Good morning to you. Great to see you on
But there was a new
Thursday
video
morning.
uncovered from 2023, just 2 years ago, and he said, quote, "We have to be clear, when the boot of the NYPD is on your neck, it's been laced by the IDF. Look, it's a unique talent to merge one's loathing for American law enforcement with their loathing for the Jewish people. But this guy's, he's managed to do it. New York is just the tip of the iceberg. It's not isolated to America's
Respect to you, Prez.
largest city. It's
Absolutely.
other cities as well. Look at Seattle, where the leading candidate for mayor is an open socialist. Look at Minneapolis, where the sitting socialist mayor is facing a challenge from his left flank. And look here in Congress, where we have our own wing of Marxist acolytes serving here. Amazingly, the media is criticizing Republicans for fixating on Mamdani. I read some of that yesterday. This socialist uprising is something that we have a responsibility to call out and sound the alarms. That's what elected representatives of the people are supposed to do, and we take that responsibility seriously. And obviously, Mamdani is a big issue here in the halls of Congress. Why? Because the second highest ranked Democrat in the country, Leader Jeffries, endorsed him. They're making Mamdani a mainstream Democrat now.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. They know that this is typical left, radical left especially, playing into their whole identity politics thing. This is what they're pros at doing. Of course they're gonna. Do you think if this was some white dude who was just, you know, a Democrat, you know, over there that was trying to become mayor, do you think that they would be trying to, the left and the radical left would try to fucking like get in, you know, like all of a sudden they're like sticking to this person now because of their identity? Isn't that fucking interesting, bro?
And this party has left the people.
It's evil.
Of course, the press wants us to ignore Mamdani here.
What's up, Frank? Always appreciate you, man. Unfortunately, listen, man, I get it. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your Thirsty Thursday morning.
It's an embarrassment because most of the press is on the side of the Democrats. They don't want us to talk about that, but we have to. Because by endorsing Mamdani, Hakeem Jeffries has endorsed and co-owned his positions, his past statements, his Marxist playbook, and everything else that guy espouses. And so, too, does every single House Democrat who will be inviting their leader, Jeffries, to their campaigns and to their districts next year. Every single one of them at every campaign stop will be asked, what do you think about Mamdani? What do you think about his positions? While House Democrats court Marxists in New York, Senate Democrats have chosen to shut down the government over a totally clean, nonpartisan CR. It's the first time in the history of this country, that any party has done that, has had the audacity to shut the government down over a totally clean, nonpartisan funding measure. They're bowing to the demands of their far-left base, and no one can deny that. The facts are very clear. The American people are intelligent. They understand what's happening here. We pray that the Democrats, at least a handful of centrists, if there are any moderates left in the Democrat Party in the Senate, we pray.
There really is not. All of them that were somewhat moderates have now become radicalized, especially on the left.
That they will come to their senses, and they will do the right thing by the American people, that they will stop all the pain, and that they will reopen the government. As I mentioned on Saturday, things are going to become very dire. There is one way out of this, the easy way, the obvious way, and that is for the Democrats to do their job and vote for the CR. Now, I mentioned we brought some of our good friends and colleagues here from New York to talk about the mess that the Democrats have created in the Empire State.
Oh, boy. We get to hear from New York. York.
Now, why are we focusing on New York? Because, again, it's a bellwether for the rest of the nation. If you're watching at home, you need to understand the dynamics of what's happening in New York, because you have to ensure that it doesn't happen in your city, in your town, in your state.
I agree. Absolutely. I do agree.
And these folks are watching this, and they're fighting it. Our
What's up,
Republicans
Tommy?
in New
Good
York
morning.
are trying to hold the line. They're trying to defend what is great about this extraordinary and exceptional nation that we have. But they have a lot of headwinds. And they're here to share how this reckless shutdown is impacting everyday New Yorkers. And I'm delighted to bring up to the podium, before we get our leadership reports here, one of my dear friends and colleagues and classmates back from the 115th Congress when we came in as freshmen together, Congresswoman Claudia Tenney, who is from the 22nd District of New York. She does an extraordinary job here for her state and for the country. Claudia, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, and my colleagues.
Real quick before she speaks, Steve Posey says if New York elects Mamdani, they deserve what they get. Now, here's my take on it. As soon as we allow one, it's going to be the basic ideology of the radical spread of Islam. You know what I mean? Once it's okay to do it here in New York and we get away with it and we push the boundaries here, now California's going to do it. Now fucking Chicago's going to do it. Now fucking Austin, Texas is going to do it. Now, you know, like, dude, it is miserable. You cannot allow this to happen. As a country, we cannot allow to be overran by these fucking people that want to take over our culture. We can't allow that to happen. We're going to lose it.
Hail from the 24th district, a little bit of we've had some redistricting in upstate New York.
Why is she extra loud, by the way? She's like got a couple. I don't know. She's talking with her chest. You know what I mean?
A couple of times, but I just want to say good morning and thank you again to my colleagues for being here. This is really important, and I wish I could say that I am surprised by what we're witnessing, but this is exactly what happens when the Democratic Party surrenders to its most radical fringe. Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries lack the political courage to stand up to the Marxist, anti-Semitic, anti-law enforcement base led by Mamdani now, AOC, and Bernie Sanders. Schumer and Jeffries are both weak leaders from New York, and specifically New York City, where they have never had to face serious political opposition and have enjoyed nothing but glowing praise from their friends in the media. They are ill-suited to lead the Democratic Party at the national level, which is on dramatic display with each passing day of this tragic shutdown. They have traded.
Oh, yeah, you go ahead. You know, we love these trolls. Listen, you want to go ahead and sit here and troll? And, you know, at least come on with your own name. See everybody in the chat that actually shows their name. They're not even showing themselves, but they at least show their name. You come in as some rogue with some anime fucking or AI fucking created thing. Dude, get the fuck out of here. I'll just ban your ass.
Did true leadership for appeasement,
I don't need you in here.
Responsibility for disorder, and principle for political survival. This shutdown is their choice. They've surrendered to radicals funded by dark money groups pushing anti-police, anti-Israel, anti-American garbage. Now the country is paying the price. I served with Hakeem Jeffries in the New York State Legislature. He sat right next to me. I've seen this playbook before, as have my colleagues in New York who also served in the legislature. It is the same corrupt Albany routine. Reward insiders, punish taxpayers, and blame everybody else. Today, it is something far worse. A movement run by socialist Marxist activists, I don't like to call them socialists, they're really Marxist, and extremist networks, and they have hijacked the Democratic Party. And as the speaker pointed out, just look at Zohran Mamdani, a member of the State Assembly, by the way. He actually defeated a fairly liberal member of the Assembly, who is, in a narrow election, but there he is in the State Assembly. He is the face of the new far-left coalition, and make no mistake about it, the new leader of the New York Democratic Party. His campaign is not grassroots. It's bankrolled by Soros money, radical clerics, and communists working together to push a Marxist agenda in America's largest city. Schumer and Jeffries will not stand up to this movement. We've seen this because, as the speaker pointed out, they're terrified of it. They have built their political survival on appeasing the far left, and now our entire country is being held hostage by it. They cannot open the government without angering the radicals who radically run their party. The Democratic Party is now controlled, as I said, by the Marxist activists, dark money donors. This is not a grassroots effort. And anti-American ideology is dominating this. And they would rather destroy the system than to lose power. And unfortunately, Leader Jeffries and Leader Schumer are just succumbing to this. New Yorkers are already paying the price, and we have been paying the price. From Albany's Medicaid for Illegal scheme to Mamdani's socialist city agenda, working families are being crushed under taxes, mandates, and ideology. And if we don't stand up, the damage will not end at the Hudson. It will reach every corner of upstate New York and across this country. We are here to fight for the men and women who build, farm, serve, and raise families across New York and our nation. They are the backbone of this nation, and they deserve a government that works for them, not the political insiders who have created this mess. So my message to Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries is simple. Stop playing games, stop bowing to this mob, and reopen our government. Pay our troops, fund essential services, and start putting American families, and especially in my case and my colleagues here, New York families first. And my message to New Yorkers is this: stand up, speak out, reject this radicalism that has taken over not just our city, but will take over our state. And I thank you, Mr. Speaker. I appreciate the moment.
Shit. All right. Well, you guys get the whole ordeal, what's happening here. We don't need to listen to the entire fucking board here speak on this shit. We are definitely at our mark. So let's go ahead and figure out who we're going to go ahead and send a raid off to. Let me go ahead and see who's live right now. and we'll send you guys off to a phenomenal creator of some sort. Let me go ahead and bring this up, redirect, and see who is live right now. Black Dragon's still live, but he's probably just ending. I can't. I do that to him all the time, but he starts before me, and he tries to do an hour show, and then he does like an hour and 30-minute show, and then right when I rate him, he's ending. So I'm not going to do that. I'll send you guys over to Rob Knorr. Yeah, he's a phenomenal political commentator for damn sure. All right, let me go ahead and stop this. Boom, perfect. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I can't thank you guys enough for making these very shows happen. I'm very honored to be able to do what I do every single day, with the exception for Sunday, of course. I can't thank you all enough for your donations, your engagement, hitting that like button, whether it be, in the beginning, the middle, the end, doesn't matter. You did it. Thank you all for making this what it is. It's a team effort, man. So listen, we'll be back tomorrow morning for more of the world's madness. Until then, much love, honor, respect to everybody, and God bless everyone. We'll talk to you guys very soon.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken, he rides on to his ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow, he takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels, here's back to